How do God's teachers deal with their pupils' thoughts of magic? Thank you for joining with me. We are in the Manual for Teachers, and we are concluding this section 17 by reading paragraphs 7, 8, and 9. If you'd like to join me with a prayer, dear God, please enable me to set aside everything I think I know about everything, God. Allow me an open mind and a new experience with this reading, this world, with you, God, myself, my brother. Forgiveness, love. Please, God, help me to be who you would have me be, do what you would have me do, go where you would have me go, and say what you would have me say, and to whom. Thank you, God. Amen. But what will now be your reaction to all magic thoughts? They can but reawaken sleeping guilt which you have hidden but have not let go. Each one says clearly to your frightened mind, you have usurped the place of God. Think not he has forgotten. And we're going to go down and read footnote 140. The statement, I apologize, I'm moving all over. The statement that opened this discussion, anger in response to perceived magic thoughts, is a basic cause of fear, has now been explained. We believe that we have usurped God's role. We feel profoundly guilty for this, and now fear the wrath of our deadly enemy, believing we have no way of escape. We cope by forgetting the battle and concealing our guilt and fear deep in our unconscious. However, when we encounter magic thoughts in ourselves or in others, it brings it all back up, since magic is one form of the original cause of it all. The sleeping fear and guilt are thus reawakened. This is especially so if we get angry at the magic thoughts of others, for that means that their magic is real and sinful, and therefore that, logically speaking, ours must be as well. And now I will go back to the text, and I'm going to repeat that sentence. Here we have the fear of God most starkly represented, for in that thought has guilt already raised. I can't read. For in that thought has guilt already raised madness to the throne of God himself. I apologize, we're driving and I'm moving all over. And now there is no hope except to kill. Here is salvation now. An angry father pursues his guilty son. Kill or be killed, for here alone is choice. Beyond this there is none, for what was done cannot be done without. For what was done cannot be done without. The stain of blood can never be removed, and anyone who bears this stain on him must meet with death. Paragraph 8. Into this hopeless situation, God sends his teachers. They bring the light of hope from God himself. There is a way in which escape is possible. It can be learned and taught, but it requires patience and abundant willingness. Given that, the lesson's manifest simplicity stands out like an intense white light against a black horizon, for such it is. If anger comes from an interpretation and not a fact, it is never justified. Once this is even dimly grasped, the way is open. Now it is possible to take the next step. The interpretation can be changed at last. Magic thoughts need not lead to condemnation, for they do not really have the power to give rise to guilt. and so they can be overlooked and thus forgiven in the truest sense. Paragraph 9. Madness but seems terrible. In truth, it has no power to make anything. Like the magic which becomes its servant, it neither attacks nor protects. To see it and to recognize its thought system is to look on nothing. Can nothing give rise to anger? Hardly so. Remember then, teacher of God, that anger recognizes reality that is not there. Yet is the anger certain witness that you do believe in it as a fact. That you do believe in it as fact. Now is escape impossible until you see you have responded to your own interpretation, which you have projected on an outside world. Let this grim sword be taken from you now. There is no death. We'll go down and read footnote 141, Proverbs 12:28. In the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death. Back to the text. This sword does not exist. The fear of God is causeless, but his love is cause of everything beyond all fear, and thus forever real and always true. Thank you for joining with me.